Today we're investigating disability technologies, also referred to as accessibility tech. Now we've got 1 billion disabled people worldwide, so this is a critical topic to debate really. It's easy to be impressed by the exponential growth in digital tech, but I want to explore how much of this is actually inclusive of the disabled community. Are enough app developers, for instance, factoring in disabled people when they build their platforms? The good news, however, is that we are seeing more startups invest time and energy in social tech, showing an increased consideration for this demographic. So today I've got with me Chris Lewis, author of Digitizing the Disabled Billion, and David Simpson, a senior researcher at Nominet, who will be revealing an invention which uses the Internet of Things to help dementia sufferers. Guys, thank you for being here today. Very, very special duo. So let's start by getting your take on whether there's one area of accessibility tech at the moment that you think is screaming for attention. And also perhaps give me an example of the tech that's in the market that is actually working for the disabled community. Let's go with you.
I think the biggest area has got to be people living with cognitive impairment. There are 850,000 people living with dementia in the UK right now. But also, similarly, it's important that we don't forget carers. So I think that some of the technology that's working really well is technology designed to support carers. So for example, there's an app called Jointly that has been put together by Carers UK. I think we're starting to see some interesting stuff coming through to help people with anxiety, for example. There's a couple of really good examples that have come out recently, and just today a new version of the Blowy app was released, which is made by the guys at PlayLab, which is all about helping to regulate breathing if you're having a panic attack. And similarly, there's a great wearable that's just come out of Kickstarter called Doppel. Which I was involved in the early trials of, and works really well for reducing your heart rate and calming you down.
There's a really interesting example in there which I've come across, which is the sensor patches that you can wear, which can pick up your muscle rhythm if you've got Parkinson's, if you've got an attack coming on. And that has an NFC connection which can tell you or your carer or the people around you that something's happening. Now that for me, it begins to tie together not just the Internet of Things, but the Internet of People as well.
And I think you said earlier to me off camera that there's a piece of technology that's helped you in your day-to-day life.
Yeah, very simple.
Would you like to talk us through that?
So very simple. I use a regular iPhone. So this is a regular iPhone 6, but I use it in conjunction. So it's got speech turned off. Speech on. So I'll turn the speech on. It's a regular iPhone 6. So and I control it from a little Bluetooth keypad, which actually helps me navigate. Completely remote, and then with a Bluetooth earpiece completes the kit. So I spend the whole time, most of them now, with my phone stuck in my pocket. So I can do my email literally whilst walking down the street with my white cane in one hand with a keypad in the other hand. So it's quite liberating, because of course that can also be a navigation application.
Yeah.
Although my favourite example is actually I can work out of my hammock in the garden at home. Because I don't need to see a screen, so I can lie in the hammock with my earpiece in and doing the keypad.
Great. And this is where tech is such an enabler, isn't it? Especially for those that need it the most. Now, David, dementia is an umbrella term for diseases that affect the brain, like Alzheimer's or strokes. I believe that over at Nominet, you've come up with a way of helping those with dementia. So tell us about that.
We addressed the dementia problem by trying to think about what's the simplest sort of Internet of Things product that we can build that will be useful around the home. So what we've done is we've developed a series of buttons that a user can place around their home, and it will guide them through their daily routine. Just simple things that we all take for granted, like waking up, taking a shower, getting dressed, making a cup of tea, feeding the cat. Just things like that. We can make sure that people are guided through those routines and that everything gets done.
I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I really hope it goes from strength to strength. So Chris, your very fantastic and widely read report says that owing to the limited access of tech for the disabled community, they often miss out on the convenience of being able to shop, bank or socialize online in the way that many others do. Firstly, why isn't this changing? And secondly, if the social value here is so clear, which it is to many of us, there is also business sense. But why are companies and providers not seeing that?
The simple issue is that the vast majority of disabled people haven't had the opportunity to hold an iPhone in their hands or a other accessible device in their hand and been trained how to use it. It happens to be my job as a telecoms analyst that I'm very, very used to using them, and I've worked my way through it. So I think there's a massive challenge in terms of what we call in the industry the channel to market. How do you get the education to those people so they can use them? The ability to do your banking and your shopping is all there on the device. It's all about just getting people comfortable with it. And there's a really interesting inverted pyramid in the market, which is that only 4% of children have disability, about 10% of the working population do, but over 75% of the aging population have a disability. So you see we've got a real exploding pyramid there, because the older people are less likely to adopt and take on the smartphone devices. But you're quite right, the economic impact is massive. You know, the earning power of the billion disabled in the world is something like $4 trillion.
Goodness.
So it's a massive economic number, and people are gradually being woken up to it. But what we need is that the design of the devices, of applications, of what we call digital products in the future have accessibility built into them from day one. So it's not an afterthought, because afterthoughts tend not to work very well, but it's built into the design process.
Well, guys, thank you so much for being with me today. All this insight, I think, is really, really valuable, and also it's been a very engaging debate. So here's a thought to leave you with. If the growth in apps, gadgets and online services for the disabled community matched even half the rate at which new products and services emerge every day for those without a disability, just imagine what that could do. Thanks for watching.